somebody's birthday. Welcome to the Completely Unnecessary Podcast. Tuesday, August 9th, 2022.
I'm 40.
Alongside old ass Ian Ferguson.
40-year-old Ferguson.
Older ass Pat Conte. On the show today.
We're really aging out of our market.
Yeah. On the show today, we're talking about Warner Brothers / Discovery shelving every possible project in sight.
Just fucking
willy-nilly.
Restart. Yeah. Like a backroom worker. Shelved.
Talking about the gaming pandemic boom possibly ending. Someone leaked internal television and Miko docs. It was going to happen at some point.
Damn right.
The latest Heritage auction sealed game results and more. Should I do it? Happy birthday, Ian. Happy birthday.
Thank
Put
you.
it on for a little bit.
All right. We're gonna wear the hat. We have used this hat so many times that the elastic is very loose.
All right, you got a weird shaped head, Ian. What can I say?
No, this is very loose elastic, sir.
Oh, okay. Maybe your beard made it. That's a dollar store special. The tag's still on it. I got a present for you.
Thank you.
I got a present.
It's well done.
What's for our audience? What's the wrapping paper?
It is DC wrapping paper.
Like Green Lantern, Superman, Flash,
Batman,
Justice League, Wonder Woman.
Yeah, the boys and girls opening now. That's what I'm doing. Oh, all right. Oh, that is that's wunderful. That is wonderful. It is Kirby doing the Scream.
It's the Scream painting from Edvard Munch, 1893, the famous painting, doing the Kevin McAllister from Home Alone.
I love this. This is
but
very
Kirby.
sweet. Very sweet.
Look at this. Look at that.
That's
Isn't
wonderful.
that beautiful?
Thank you so much.
Is the card in there of the artist? Shit, did I put the card down? I'm sorry. It was an artist from Comic-Con.
Oh.
I have the card somewhere. I should include it to give him a shout out.
We can shout them out later.
In the back anywhere? No, it's not. But it was, yeah, very nice.
Yes, it's
Thank
wonderful. I appreciate it very much.
You're welcome.
Very sweet.
I say thank you for liking it, which is weird.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for liking it.
We'll put it on the wall there. We could feature it for the podcast.
Yeah.
Why can't we feature it? Perfect.
There we go.
It can stay there the whole podcast.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
We haven't added art to the wall in a while.
Yeah.
We could if we wanted to. We replace Mario's keys with them if we wanted to.
I'm going to find him a nice spot in my little corner.
All right, this goes back in the garage for next year.
Yep.
There's the tag, party hat, chapeau de fete.
I think we've used the party hat
imported from
at least three years
Oh,
in a
it's
row
from
now.
French Canada. There you go. Made in China, but imported from Canada. All right, I'm not sure how that works, but okay. There you go. And these are like dollar store packs of stuff, or no, it's made at dollar store. I the same, like it's like the New Year's festive pack. There's like 8 or 9 of these. I don't like this one though. No. You need the noise.
You need the noise.
You need the combo one.
Right. Exactly.
I don't have the combo one, and I try to do this. I try to do the insertion. What? Oh, there you go.
There you go.
There you go. Enough air in the lungs to do the combo.
Just got to grip it down by the bottom.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, I think so.
You got to squeeze the vein.
Yeah.
God. We talked about a really awkward situation with a lady friend.
So it was awkward
at Castle Country. That's why you want to go to patreon.com/CU podcast and listen all about how awkward it was. Ian was gritting his teeth while listening to it.
Yeah. Pull a couple greenbacks right off the top.
Greenbacks.
Give them to us and hear about
Get one of those dollar guns?
Yeah.
I thought about buying one.
A dollar gun?
One of the dollar guns. In case I ever went to the strip club with a friend, I'd be like, that'd be fun to do that. Just fire them off.
So,
they're like $15-20.
Not only is it my birthday, but apparently Spider-Man has recently celebrated a birthday.
The comic turned 60.
Yeah.
So if you were doing the age, that means Spider-Man technically would be 75 because he starts out as a 15-year-old. So Amazing Fantasy 15, which was amazing adult fantasy before that, which featured mostly weird sci-fi stories and monsters.
Right.
Because that's what all Marvel did for like 10 years.
Yeah.
In between, like, in the 50s, there wasn't really superheroes. Captain America was gone by 54. They basically just stopped doing superhero stories. DC always did, but Marvel was like, all right, no more Submariner and original Human Torch, and we're done with this stuff, and no more Cap. Cap was done in, I think, 54. So there was a time period where Marvel was doing these monster stuff, and so Spider-Man made an appearance. This is like, less than a year after Fantastic Four was the first superhero thing that Marvel had done in forever, which really kickstarted the Silver Age with Marvel. That was 61. And then you had Spider-Man was like the second big one that came around. And that's what the 1-2 punch basically restarted interest in comic books. Because at DC, it was doing the same fucking shitty weekly stories forever. No good story arcs. It was all for kid shit.
Yeah.
Not even teenager level things. Superman this week beats a guy where his power is I don't know, throwing nunchucks at you. I don't know. It's like the one-off villains. Like, who cares? Right, a little bit of Batman.
The number cruncher.
Yeah, exactly. The number cruncher. He like throws numbers at you. I don't know. But seriously, so Marvel. It was, but actually, here's the thing. It was August 62, but the issue came out supposedly in May. So,
right.
So I share a birthday month with Pac-Man and Spider-Man, two things I love. That's all I got.
That's all I got on it too. I will say what was a great birthday treat for me, and we'll get a little bit into this. Try to be spoiler free here.
We're gonna try. If you don't want spoilers for Prey, the latest in the Predator franchise that came out on Hulu, please skip forward. We'll give you like 10 seconds to skip forward. You need to skip forward like 10 minutes, or at 6 minutes in, go to like 17 to be safe.
I'm trying to give him a bump in the.
Give him a bump
in the down arrow, the link, the thing that you press to.
What?
Timestamp.
Give him a timestamp.
Give him a timestamp
for the intro. You mean, it's hard to do that in the audio version though. The audio version, you're in your car.
Well, okay. Around. I mean, if this is the audio version, you're gonna have to
go watch Prey.
Go watch Prey.
Or skip. Go on your iPod if you have an iPod and scroll forward. That's enough spoiler time. So Prey comes out, Ian.
So Prey is out. I watched it over the weekend. You were really looking forward to it. I thought the trailer gave me some cautious optimism. I'll cut to the chase. I loved it. I know you were less into it, but I enjoyed it.
I didn't hate it.
I thought it was well paced. I thought it was shot. The nature shots were gorgeous.
Yeah, a lot of drone shots, obviously. That's the thing. But where did they film this thing? I want to say they filmed it something like in Wyoming or Northwest. It was gorgeous where they actually filmed the real stuff, which I'll get into.
Yeah,
it was insane.
Just beautiful countryside shots.
I was in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Oh, Northwest. I was close.
I thought the movie was good. Yeah, it starts. It's the tale of a Comanche woman who wants to become a hunter, and she goes out hunting with her brother and the other members of the tribe, and she can never exactly quite get it. And Predator lands. The landing of the Predator ship is probably one of my least favorite scenes in the movie.
Okay.
It just looked bad.
Terrible. See, here's the problem. The budget was not big enough for this to be like a wide release. I think it was only 90 million.
Right.
Like that. So that's not enough for a Predator movie. So they probably figured, well, this won't make it back in theaters because the last Predator movies have done awful. The Predator did not do well and was not well reviewed.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen it.
AVP 2 was horribly reviewed.
Predators was okay.
Predators, from what I've seen, is okay, but I think the Predator franchise is a weird sort of franchise because it's sci-fi, but it's also horror and suspense, and it's hard to carry that over through multiple pictures nowadays.
Predators is weird because on paper it should be great.
The Predators movie, you mean?
Yeah, the Predators movie.
Okay, from 2007 or 8.
It looks great, but it's kind of boring.
Okay.
Just like we're hitting these beats. We've got like it's I don't know. Wasn't my favorite. Anyway, so Predator lands, and Predator. As far as I can tell, the first time the Predators landed on Earth.
Yes, that's the big thing. It's the first time a Predator. Now, there's two species of Predator, which I guess they revealed in Predators. This is the taller, hulkier.
Yeah.
Predator. The Predator's big enough, like 7 feet. This is like a 9-10 foot Predator, and so it's the first time any Predator has been on planet Earth.
And they show that well.
1719.
They show that well. They show the predator, basically starting with the smaller, scrappier animals like dogs and working their way up.
It was wolf.
Well, wolf.
Yeah.
And working their way up
Snake.
through the snake, wolf, spoiler, bear,
Buffalo.
Actually, it didn't kill the buffalo.
Oh, the hunters, the trappers. Spoilers,
The
trappers.
trappers killed the buffalo. So yeah, he works his way up and basically, catches wind of the hunting party, the Comanche hunting party, and basically starts to kind of show interest in them. What am I saying? Well, I was basically just giving a brief recap of it. Naru, the lead, ends up getting kidnapped by a bunch of trappers.
That's about halfway through the movie, and that's where my interest started to tail off.
55 minutes, I think, in is when they come in.
About that, so a little more than half. It's like a 95-minute movie,
Right.
something like that. 90-minute, 95.
At that point, it starts to show you, I think, that the predator's code, how they don't want to go for bait. They want an active, healthy hunter essentially to go after because this is sport for them. So they're looking for.
But this is a less honorable predator.
Sure.
Way less honorable, and that's what when.
Well, I don't know that he's less honorable.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
I don't know. I how so?
How so?
Yeah.
One-on-one combat being fully in camouflage when it was melee combat. That wasn't honorable. The spoilers. After getting its ass almost handed to him by the brother, then having to fucking disappear.
Yeah.
And just
okay. No, you're
shoot.
fair. Yeah, you're right there.
There was some really weird stuff happening with that. But then when Yoshi told me there's two different species of predator.
Yes.
And this is the less noble one. The ones in the first movies are the noble one. They would
Right.
never do some of this stuff. I was like, okay, that makes sense. Like, I don't like the fact that it killed a wolf. There's no sport in killing a wolf. You're so much bigger.
Well,
and better.
that's what I was saying. I felt like they were doing that to basically because it's never been here, so it's testing out the waters and seeing what is and what. That's what I mean by moving up through the hierarchy. It starts low and then basically ends up at human.
So I think I love the first, 55 minutes because it was very self-contained. You're with the tribe and the hunting group of like 5 of them. With the brother, played by Dakota Beavers as Tabby, was incredible.
He's so fucking good. Both of them were great.
But I wish the movie centered around him because he was legitimate badass warrior. The highlight of the film was him taking on the Predator one-on-one to me, and I was just like, if I had more of that, I think I would have liked it even more.
Amber Mid-Thunder was
Amber
Nara,
Mid-Thunder
and
played
Dakota
Naru.
Beavers. Yeah.
And Dale DeLaguerro as the Predator. The Predator was, I guess, a combination of a suit and CG. I did not like the CG, but they wanted to go for the huge version. I wish they could have just done the suit because I think it looked so much better, but they wanted a huge hulking thing. It was like a 9 feet tall. It's gigantic, this Predator. And like a human is not that big and not that huge and wide. CG was shaky in places.
There were some spots where the early going CG I think was the worst.
The cat looked bad. The mountain lion looked really bad.
But it improved slightly. As like the bear looked better than the cat.
Yes, they put their money there, which is better.
Yeah,
because it was more important to me. That was the highlight of the film. It was like just the small party. What's going on? Is something out there? When she gets basically hunted between the bear and the predator. And then she escapes into the wood,
into the beaver dam,
and like then the bear comes like them. Like, this is fucking cool. I said, this is really cool. And then once you get to the trappers, it becomes just okay. Let's have the predator kill as many people as possible in a cool way. And I get that's part of a predator film.
Yeah.
But compared to the ones I like the first Predator, where it's more drawn out and it's done like there's not a huge amount of deaths that happen with the Predator. It's like spaced out one at a time until the end where there's a few. I'm like, that's what I thought. I thought that's what the movie was going to be. I thought the movie was going to be the Predator hunting down the Comanche. And that's not what the movie is. And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, it was a little different than I expected, but I guess it just didn't bother me as much. I felt like they balanced the slow stuff fairly well with the action. I enjoyed it. I mean, is it perfect? No, but it's a lot better than I expected it was going to be for a 90 million, like a movie on a small budget. I mean, it's the first genuine. It's the first, it's the first genuine shot in the arm I feel like the Predator franchise has had, because it's getting well reviewed. It's getting better reviews than the Predator by far.
That sounded like a disaster. I didn't want to see that after the review of that. That sounded like that was a disaster.
You know, Predators was, like I said, it was fine, but it was just so by the books that no one got excited about it. At least people seem fairly excited about this. It was at 93% on Rotten Tomatoes a few days ago. I don't know what it's at now.
Here's some of the top critics. I kind of agree with this. Like, the result is pretty fun, if also a tonal mishmash of goofiness and gorgeous landscape. This movie's more goofy than I thought it would be. That's the thing. I know some Predator stuff is goofy going back to the first film, but once you got to the Commandos, Arnold stuff versus the Predator, it wasn't goofy anymore. It was like, it was as real as you could have gotten with that, and that's what I thought this was going to be. And it just went off the deep end, I thought, with the trappers, and that's what pulled me out when it was obviously the CG stuff, when it was the group of trappers versus the Predator. That was not a real wilderness, obviously, and that's what pulled me out. And obviously there's expense to that, because Yoshi told me that they were going to film. Like, I thought when I saw the camp, I was like, oh, the Predator's going to come at me at the camp. I said, this is going to be cool. Right? If they did that, it would have cost a ton of money to integrate CG into a real environment. That's what the cost is. So
yeah, I would have preferred that to
that would have been like nuts.
Yes,
just rampaging the camp.
That's what I would have liked to have seen. Yes.
But they did it in this like sort of like weird foggy area with like no trees. And I'm like, this is fake. This is not a real thing happening. Right. And that's what kind of took me out. You see a lot of cool Predator kills. Someone got on your timeline and said this is a sanitized Predator. This is an extremely violent film. Yeah, extremely violent. Most violence in the Predator movies I remember. Like, way more.
Yeah, they called it sanitized for YouTube. Sanitized for the streaming generation.
There's at least 5 beheadings that I saw in this movie. At least, right? 4 or 5?
Well, they kind of went into they were like, there was no like military stuff, no guns. So what they wanted was I think, a more machismo like influenced movie. They wanted more guns in action, I think.
But you're talking flintlock muskets and pistols.
I don't know. I didn't argue with the person. I'm sure they're nice, but I was just like, this is not a sanitized movie at all.
Brutal melee combat.
I was I enjoyed it all, but I was like, when there's a point where a character loses an arm and gets a couple legs chopped off. Yeah, and I mean it's there. They're blood going everywhere. Yeah. Like it's not.
There's a lot of amputations going on.
Yeah, they don't cut. They don't cut away.
There's a couple times where I think they cut away because the effects budget. Like you kind of see something happen a little off.
But it's more for the effects reasons, not because they didn't want to show blood.
There's a lot of blood in this movie. Like it's not too much, but I'm like. You went from very little to like now there's a ton of it. I'm just like, okay, I see. So no, like I said, I didn't hate it. I liked it. I just wasn't over the moon about it because in my head, I guess I built up something else. I thought it was going to be brother and sister fighting together for the most of it. That's what I was like, oh, this is going to be cool. Teaming up because she's still learning how to be a warrior and he's obviously a seasoned warrior. And I was like, okay, that's fine. You want to do it that way? That's fine. I'll just say this: the one goofy thing was the hatchet on a rope.
Oh yeah, no, that was
that was cool on paper, extremely unrealistic and impractical as a weapon.
I let it go because it's a fucking action movie. But when she threw it, I was like, and she pulled it, I was like, oh, that's gonna go right into her forehead.
Yeah, that hatchet's gonna spin or turn around and kill her. Yeah, or take out an arm.
I know it was to make it look cool, but like. That, I think more than anything, more than a 9-foot-tall alien, that pulled me out of reality. I was like, okay. Yeah. Suspension of disbelief stops here.
Because they throw in the hatchet. Obviously, she knows how to use a bow and arrow a little bit. She's not as seasoned.
I get it. She wants to get that hatchet to come back because they show her learning with the hatchet and becoming skilled with it, but that's not the way to do it.
No, that's not a thing. Right. That's not a thing.
Yeah.
I think
there's a reason why you've never seen that, because you'd lose your hand.
Yes, like, or lose your face. Like they could have just had her have like a handful of hatchets.
I would have said just have a couple,
because that's what a warrior would have done. Yeah. You have like some throwing hatchets. You're not going to have and bow and arrow. But no, like I said, they had to throw the cute dog in. I didn't mind the cute dog.
No, neither did I. I liked the dog.
You couldn't kill off. You can't ever kill off a dog.
Well, you can, but people don't like it.
No. The wolf is fine. It's a wolf.
Yeah.
But so yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I was talking and I was thinking, how about you go feudal Japan Predator? That'd be pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
if you're going to do these different regions and time period. And feudal Japan went up to like the late 1800s. So you can do like early 1800s. You can do it.
Yeah, I think there's not to like dwell on it for too much longer, but I do think there is room here for them to keep doing these Predator movies similar to that.
They shouldn't have said this was the first one, because I would have went back further. How about you go medieval Predator?
Right.
With knights or a knight. Like, they shouldn't have said it. You shouldn't have said this was the first one, but there's still some things you could do.
Yes.
There's still some things you can do, different areas of the world, maybe, or time.
Yeah,
periods.
I'm thinking like different areas of the world too. It doesn't all have to be American plains. Like you said, feudal Japan.
Feudal Japan.
Africa would be cool.
Yeah, why not? Let's do it up. Now it's the Perfect Warrior show that was on Spike 12 years ago. The Perfect Warrior. Remember that? I used to love that stupid show. It was a game.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I know they made a game of it too.
You know what's a game? Warner Brothers Discovery, not knowing what the hell they're doing after this takeover. Discovery bought out the Warner Brothers stuff. What was
Just
that last
so
year?
widely panned too by people.
The stuff that they're doing we have done a reset. We've restructured the business where we're going to focus where there will be a team with a 10-year plan focusing just on DC. I mean, that's great, but you have stuff already in the pipeline that you can't just toss it all out. You got an Aquaman sequel coming out.
Yeah.
You got this Flashpoint movie with a star that's run amok with everything. You have now this Batgirl film that they filmed, was in post-production, not a small amount of money.
90 million.
This was 90 million, not the Prey was. This was 90 million. That's what was in my head.
I was wondering if that. Let me see what the Prey budget was.
Prey budget might have been less than 90 million, probably. I don't know if that's available. But this was a $90 million movie that was going to be seen by a decent amount of people, if not just on HBO Max, Ian. And now they are shelving a major superhero movie. Shelving it. You will never see this. You'll never see it. You'll never see it. And it's part of the DC stuff. It was supposed to reintroduce, I think Michael Keaton Batman was going to be in this.
Yeah.
And so that's fucking gone. And so because that's supposedly Michael Keaton Batman is going to be written out of the Aquaman movie that he was supposed to be in. And it's supposed to be in the Flashpoint. Like, what the fuck is happening? I want to see Michael Keaton Batman. Yeah, Brendan Fraser is going to be the villain in it. We all want to see good old Brendan Fraser on his comeback.
Yep. 88 million was Predator or Prey.
Okay, so around the same amount.
Yeah.
So this is insane. I don't remember ever this happening in our lifetime.
No,
where the movie was done and not direct to video, not direct to streaming. You is never going to see it. We're not even going to try to recoup any cost. The cost is already paid for, it's paid for most of it.
Yeah.
This is insane.
I don't understand how stockholders would let someone do this. You're literally saying no to money.
I don't care if you say this is an Elseworld tale and you put it on you can buy it for $10 on HBO Max. You're getting no return on investment at all.
Yeah.
Like, you're burning money.
It's just bad fucking business.
Yes. David Zaslav, I guess, took over from Discovery. We're not going to release any film before it's ready. We're not going to release a film to make a quarter. We're not going to release a film. The focus is going to have to be, how do we make each of these films in general as good as possible? I understand that, but this was already made.
It's done.
Do something with it.
Right.
I'm not saying you have to have it come out in 3,000 screens around the U.S. Do something with it. It's a slap in the face of the people that worked on the film.
Yeah.
Less so than, the fans as well, but the people that actually worked in this film. The actor who played Batgirl is probably heartbroken. It's like, I'm not in the DC universe.
Right.
I guess,
Well, and what's crazier though is, and I I'm not going to bang on this too much, but Ezra Miller, they're going insane, and the Flash movie has not been canceled. So again, this looks like this, especially with some of how he's talked. This sounds misogynistic, or at least it's mind blowing to me that one would be shelved without the other being shelved, especially with the news.
I would make the argument, playing devil's advocate, that Flash already appeared in a few films. There's more on the line. It's a much bigger budget,
But if he's gonna fucking scuttle it all and just do a new 10-year plan, what's it matter?
Well, that's the thing. I think that's what's bullshit. Saying there's a 10-year plan,
That's not the first time they've said it.
which they should have done originally. We said it 10 years ago, 9 years ago. We said you got to copy the Marvel model. You got to build up individual movies first. You can't just jump into fucking Justice League. That was insane that they did that.
Well, even more insane was fucking Batman v Superman without a Batman movie to lead into it.
That was nuts.
Looking back on that, that's still crazy to me. Yeah.
Insane. They gave Zack Snyder the keys, and we haven't had a solo Superman movie. People begging for another It's been
not since Man of Steel.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been almost 10 years. Henry Cavill wants to do it. He's begging to do it. Your biggest hero, you don't have a movie, a solo film in like almost 10 years. It's nuts how much they've mismanaged this. It's nuts. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I know it's hard to write Superman well, but like I think there would have been people love the portrayal. You could have done it. You could have figured it out. You could have figured it out.
Cavill makes a good Superman. I don't think Zack Snyder writes a good Superman.
No, he's horrible to do these movies, obviously.
Yeah. But Cavill fucking, I mean, he nailed the Clark Kent and Superman look. I mean,
the character. He's in shape.
He looks like Clark Kent.
He's still relatively young to do it. I think he's probably mid to late 30s, so like he can still do it. 40 is the new 30. Ask Ian.
That's right.
So I mean, like people don't age the way you used to.
Cavill is 39 years old.
39. You can still do Superman into your 40s.
Yeah,
you can do that. You stay in shape. You know, you're fine. You're good to go. I can't believe that. I really can't believe that they've wasted all of that. And then they're bringing back. It's such a mess. They're bringing back Affleck's back as Batman in one of these movies. I forget which one he's going to be in. Affleck's back as Batman in one of these. I don't know if it's Aquaman 2. I forget. But you have the new Batman in a different universe. Yeah, and they're doing a Joker sequel, which is another offshoot universe. Right. And then a new Harley Quinn in that universe.
Did you watch the Batman?
I haven't seen it yet.
That was good.
It seems good, but from it being 3 hours long, it sounds like an overly long director's cut. I'd rather see like a 2.5 hour version.
Honestly, I thought it went pretty fast.
Pretty fast?
It didn't feel like it dragged to me. I enjoyed it.
So you're going to have 2 Harley Quinns. You have at least 2 Jokers, at least 2 Batman.
Do we have 2 Harley Quinns?
They just announced the new Harley Quinn. Like yesterday.
Oh, geez. Okay.
For Joker 2, because it's a different universe.
Oh, right. God damn.
So, yeah. So you don't know what... Yeah, it's ridiculous. Who was just... it was... what's her name? Singer. The Singer was announced. And I think she'll do probably a decent job. It'll be a more serious version of it, because that's a more serious version. Let's see. Yeah, Lady Gaga.
Oh.
Lady Gaga is going to be a new Harley Quinn.
Interesting.
I think she'll be fine.
Sure.
But like, it's going to... The point is this. It confuses casual people when you have all these different fucking things going on.
Right. None of it links.
Because the new Pattinson Batman introduced a Joker as well, which they released the deleted scene. Mm-hmm. So that's a new Joker. So there's like fucking 4 Jokers going on, or 3. Like it's...
Yeah, they don't know what they're doing.
So on that level, I understand, but please let us see these movies. If you have to do reshoots to make them work better, I get that. But I wanted to see Brendan Fraser.
Me too. I did.
I was interested because of that alone.
Me too.
Yeah.
All of it. I dabble in Batgirl comics, and I like the character. I would be interested in seeing Michael Keaton reprise
absolutely
the role, and I love Brendan Fraser.
Yeah. Kevin Smith says it's incredibly bad look to cancel the Latina Batgirl movie. I don't give a shit if the movie was absolute fucking dogs shit. Man, I guarantee you that it wasn't. Okay, well, you said 2 different things, okay, but yeah, I can't remember the last time this happened.
No, it's really, really strange.
A movie on that budget, you never see the light of it. You're going to say, the Fantastic Four movie from 93 or whatever. That was made for $1 million to keep the rights. It was never going to be like a big release.
Right.
That's totally different than this. And that's actually, when you go back and watch that, the narrative isn't bad. I mean, I'm being serious. Like, if you ever watch that, it's on YouTube.
I've never watched it.
Dr. Doom, they got right for a movie on that small. And Dr. Doom, actually, the costume's actually pretty good, even though there's no budget. Like, Dr. Doom costume was pretty... You ever saw Dr. Doom costume in that movie?
No.
It looks like Dr. Doom. Like, Thing looks like Thing. There's no budget. It's a Roger Corman movie, but like...
It's supposed to be 1993.
I think 93, 94, Dr. Doom. Look up Dr. Doom Corman. And you'll see. Like, it's pretty good.
Corman, Korman.
Yes. Like, it looks better than the fucking shitty one, the Fantastic Four reboot from 2015. it's
not bad.
It's a
Not
better
bad.
looking. That's Doctor Doom.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. And then Thing looked okay. They managed to make like things like mouth move when it talked in the costume. Yeah, no, not a problem with it. $1 million. And then I think Marvel bought it and they fucking destroyed everything because they went to receipts. But so you get bad VHS transfers out there.
Right.
So all right. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know where there's no grooming of minors? Ultimate Nintendo.
Wait, what? What are you talking about there? Well, grooming it? What? I think you skipped over. Wait a second. Well, there is an ultimatenintendo.com. You can find books and enamel pins.
No grooming.
It's been alleged that Ezra Miller had a cult and was grooming at least one minor to go. I think we had to say that before you go into the segue.
Yeah.
So Ezra Miller has been accused of harassment and grooming. And I think there was a felony burglary charge in Vermont that's come up in the past couple of days. So that's
apparently they exhibit cult-like behavior. No one was ever really allowed to disagree with them. Their reality painted everyone else's reality. I mean, they sound like a mess, a fucking mess.
Oh yeah, but there's a huge movie coming out next year with them starring.
Yeah. So
it was supposed to like kind of reset the whole DC like movie universe.
Yes, this was the time that they were going to reset and enact their 10-year plan.
I guess
this is the start of the 10-year plan.
I guess they were going to bring in Robert Pattinson's Batman, maybe, and maybe Joaquin Phoenix's Joker to like bring it all together potentially, which would have been interesting. But
maybe Miller's Flash can die during Flashpoint.
Or you just bring in another one. People were saying, what about the TV guy?
Yeah.
Bring in the TV actor to do it. Do that. That shows, and it's been for 9 years, that Flash.
That was another thing that didn't make sense to me, was using different actors for the same character. Where it's not the universe. 90s anymore. I know.
Because they had the TV universe, the Arrow universe, and whatever. There's only one universe, ultimatenintendo.com, the universe.
Yep, there it is.
The universe to get your RBI baseball stickers, enamel pins that you can't see because the screen painting's in front of it, and the books. I'll be on Twitch Wednesday, twitch.tv/Country Code, and we will be at the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo, the triumphant East Coast return.
Can't wait.
That is August 13th and 14th in Long Island, right outside Nassau Coliseum. We're going to have a great time. We'll be there with friends, having the best pizza we can possibly eat, gorging ourselves on the best pizza as well. What else is going on, Ian? What we got going on here?
Oh.
We got a Pac-Man movie.
Got a Pac-Man movie, a live-action Pac-Man movie coming.
Okay, how is that going to work? From the Hollywood Reporter, your news on the backlot of Hollywood.
I don't know how it's going to work. The company behind Pac-Man and Wayfarer Studios, the production company founded by Justin Baldoni and Steve Sarowitz. I don't know what Wayfarer Studios has done, so I'm going to take it. Oh, the project will be based on an original idea from Chuck Williams, who did Sonic the Hedgehog, of Lightbeam Entertainment.
Great.
So that means we're probably going to get at least one Pac-Man with human teeth. If people don't.
No, yeah, but more importantly, we're going to go the cheap. Oh, Pac-Man busts out of the video game into reality where he's hanging out with some fucking dude, and they do a little. Oh, God, I don't want to see this. Just do an animated movie. Pac-Man is not beloved enough. I hate to say as much as Sonic is to a younger, more prime audience for it.
Sure.
To do that sort of treatment. Just do an animated movie and put it out on fucking Amazon or a streaming service. This is not good. This is not good to me. This idea.
No, it's not. I'm trying to see what else they've done. Come on, Wayfarers.
Their upcoming slate includes football drama, The Senior, and coming of age dramedy, Empire Waste. Waste as in the part of your body, not WASTE. Great.
Yeah, I can't find a whole lot about what they've done.
I'm excited.
5 movies I have not heard of, such as 5 Feet Apart, It Ends With Me, Clouds.
What's the Variety article say about this? Is there anything plot? There's no plot about this skin. The ubiquitous video game in which a starving Pac-Man chomps his way through a maze while attempting to evade deadly ghosts. Blah, blah. God.
Yeah, there's really not a whole lot here.
All right.
Anyways, so that'll be awful.
I'll bet $100 it's going to be Pac-Man coming into our reality, just like the Smurfs movie did.
Yep.
Just like Sonic did, and it's like the most boring fucking thing to me to do that. Oh, Pac-Man discovers he can't really. Where are the dots to eat? I got to eat other circular-sized objects. Oh my God!
It's definitely going to be a montage of him eating circle-sized fruits and spitting some out and enjoying some.
Oh God! My hair hurts.
Yeah.
From that. This is cool news.
This is very good news.
Is this big news, Ian?
This is big news. I'm not going to do it if you're just going to rely on the board. Never again. While doing some... This is from Unlisted Cheats at new_cheats_news. While doing some request work, I casually found some new cheats in Super Punch-Out for the SNES. All secret codes in this game use 2-button combinations. 2 of them are known, sound test and Japanese name input. Oh, but there are 2 more.
Oh.
And these are actually for the second player controls you're supposed to press. At the title, hold Y and R, then press A or start.
Okay.
So what that brings is a screen where it shows whatever. It's not, his name's not Little Mac, but whatever the new Punch-Out character is.
What was his name in that one?
I don't know. He doesn't look like Little Mac.
I know nothing about Super Punch-Out lore.
And it brings up a bunch of icons, like fighting game icons, and basically you can pick any of the boxers.
Any of the 16 boxers
to fight against. So you can do practice rounds. However, even crazier.
Oh.
In the free match mode, however, you can also press and hold B and Y, then press A or start. And now the CPU opponent can be controlled from joypad 2, so you can fight against a real person.
That is nuts.
That's awesome. And people have already shown you can do it with the ROM on Nintendo Switch Online. It's
so literally undocumented.
It's just been there forever and
undocumented code that never appeared in Nintendo Power, never was in a cheat book ever. No one ever knew about it. Only Nintendo knew about this. That's it.
Yeah,
and they kept it a secret for all this time.
Yep.
Like when I hear this, if I had known this was a thing in the actual game, like an actual feature that they advertised, I would have been way more interested in getting this as a kid.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, a 2-player mode and Punch-Out?
Yeah.
Like that's
neat.
This is the most interesting thing, like hidden thing I think I've heard of in a long time.
Yeah. And it whenever I hear something like this, my interest in video games always gets a little boost again. Because of just how every time you think you've seen it all in games or there's nothing left to come out from, the old days or anything like that, something like this cool happens or this news comes out and all of a sudden it's like, what else is there hiding that we have no ideas about? Even in big name games, like big popular games by big companies.
Oh yeah. But to me, again, like if they had put this on the box saying this is one of the features of the game, a 2-player mode, if it functions okay, and people are always trying to figure out like the special moves for each character, like how you actually deal with the button combination stuff, and like if that's all in the game for each of these boxers, like you can replicate them as you play them. Like I think like one guy regains the health or prances around the ring, like that's pretty impressive.
It's interesting. I have a feeling that they probably didn't put it in there because they didn't think it was going to be well received, because I could imagine it being kind of clunky.
Sure.
Uneven, the viewpoint is different, but it still sounds like it's functional.
I think people would have taken it for what it was.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like it would have taken, this is just a cool little bonus.
Right.
It's not the main draw of the game. This isn't a traditional fighting game. No, I'm like super impressed, and I don't really have experience with this game at all. I'm gonna kind of say I never really played it as a kid. My cousin didn't have Super Punch-Out. I don't think. Well, they probably did. I just never played it. They didn't let me get the controller sometime. Come on, Andy, let me get the controller every once in a while. Jesus. So, well, that's fun. Not a shock. We brought this up in the past, Ian. Less than 1% of Netflix subscribers plays their games. I would say less than 1% know that they have games that they could play. That's probably part of the reason.
Well, I constantly forget about it. I forget that there's games I can play.
I turn on my Netflix. I punch up some Knight Rider.
Well, the other thing is I think all of the games are mobile, so you have to access them from your phone.
So it's already weird. I mean,
it's already a step I don't want to take.
I've watched Netflix on my phone, like at a hotel in a pinch, or like I've done that, but like I forget about the app. I forget I can watch it laying in bed. I forget about it. All of them have apps. Like it's the same technology, but like I forget about these things. The Netflix branded games alone have been downloaded 23.3 million times globally, with around 1.7 million daily users. But that's less than 1% of their Netflix 221 million subscribers. And obviously that number's been going down. They've been losing subscribers, Netflix.
Right.
These numbers have been climbing steadily since May. So maybe they're marketing it out. I mean, hey, we got these games. Again, though, like what's their purpose? The purpose is to get people to subscribe to watch their content. You're never going to break through and it be like a game subscription service. Like that's not why people...
That's never going to be the draw, so it seems like wasted money to put that money into it.
But that's why Netflix was losing subscribers, because they went from doing cool series and things. Now, oh, we're going to do another fucking Ryan Reynolds movie. Like that, no one cares. We don't want to see The Rock and Ryan Reynolds run around in these lower middle budget weird action. Like that's not why
I watched that movie when I had COVID back home in Buffalo, and I couldn't tell you two things about that movie.
I think I watched it up until the part with the bullfighting scene, the bull scene, or whatever. I'm just like, I'm done.
I don't remember there being a bullfight. It was not great.
I watched a little bit of the one where he was in Ryan Reynolds, where he's part of like the team of the Six or whatever they're called. They're like a Mission Impossible team.
Oh yeah.
With Michael Bay producing it or directing it. I was like, I watched 15 minutes. Like, I don't think I need to watch this. This is not why I'm on Netflix. I'm on Netflix to watch season 3 of Knight Rider. That's why I'm on Netflix. I'm so sad there's going to be only a 4th season and no proper ending. Oh, excuse me. Old Hasselhoff wrote one to be the ending. They didn't use it as the last episode. So I'm going to skip over that one and save it for the last episode.
There you go.
I'm gonna not watch it chronological order.
Oh yeah.
I'm in love with Knight Rider. It's better than you think. It actually is.
Sure. It
wasn't for kids. It was the weird time where you had goofy action stuff in prime time in the 80s. Talked about with Andre. Like we're never going to see that again.
Oh no.
Like these goofy, really over the top ideas.
There will never be another A-Team type show on television.
Not prime time, no.
Not prime time. Yeah.
No.
Nope.
It's for kids, but also adults.
Yeah.
No one's getting killed, but people get killed in Knight Rider.
We've got the guns adults love, but the no deaths that kids
Was anyone
need.
ever killed on A-Team? Because people get killed on Knight Rider all the time.
I feel like people were probably killed in the A-Team.
I don't know about that. I'm not so sure about that. No one's ever hit with a gun. We know that with the machine guns. People get murdered on Knight Rider almost every episode. So, all right, you can look that up. Have people ever been killed on the A-Team?
During the entire series, only 5 people died on screen.
5?
Yes.
Oh, like villains that came to a weird end.
I don't know.
That's the problem. The problem, not problem. Knight Rider, innocent people get killed to set up plots sometimes.
Right.
You can see some person gets stabbed. One of the episodes because they're trying to steal something from them. Like, well, okay, this is like Murder She Wrote stuff that we're seeing here. 5 out of how many episodes?
Like 90 something.
Wow. Okay. Were they earlier on? Then they got more sanitized as kids got into it and they put out more toys. Is that what happened? Probably.
I don't know.
Now I want to know when those deaths occur. Were they all in the first couple of years? Because that show was on for like 5-6 years. That show. It's on until like 87, I think. Interesting. Oh, you're getting drawn in.
Mad Dog Murdoch was shot twice during the series.
Okay.
And B.A. Mr. T was shot once off screen.
Off screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Michael Knight gets beat up a lot in the show and hurt. Are we at the end of the boom of the gaming pandemic?
I don't know. It's possible. According to Sony, they think it is. Nintendo does not see it that way. Sony had something like a 28% drop off, I think.
You're up.
Which is
for the quarter.
Yeah, which is big. But I think there naturally has to be an end to the pandemic boom at some point because it was a boom. And a lot of these companies probably don't want to admit that it was a boom, but a lot of the money that is in video games right now, whether it's from, retro collectors all the way up to modern day systems, and flipping, PS5 systems, it all came from a place of boredom and isolation and needing something to do and something to do at home. And as people get out more and more, it's only natural that you're going to see a slump. Sales of PlayStation 4 and 5 titles fell from a year earlier. Playtime plunged 15% in the quarter.
Okay, that makes more sense if more people are going back to work or the office.
Microsoft says sales from content and services are down 6%.
operating profits plunged 37%.
And
year
Nintendo
on
reported
year.
its U.S. software sales dropped 23% in the same period.
That's a big drop if it's year over year. That's a big drop.
It is. And Nintendo is saying, it's a matter of I think they're trying to write it off as a matter of supply is now being met. All the big
consoles.
Yeah, for consoles and stuff like that. Whereas anything they could put out prior because it was in such demand was selling out immediately, and now that people can access them.
They've had less big titles too.
They have. There hasn't really. I'm trying. I know Splatoon is coming out. Metroid was earlier.
Metroid.
Dread. That was last year.
Oh, Dread. That's not a huge title, but I see it's something. I'm talking about like AAA. Everyone's gonna get it titles. That's what I mean.
Yeah. I don't know.
They haven't had a big one like that in a couple of years at least.
Sure.
I guess you say Animal Crossing was the last one, which people didn't expect.
No. I would say something between then and whatever.
Clubhouse Games, there it is. I mean, that did pretty well. Clubhouse Games, that was perfect for the pandemic, folks.
It did do well.
I liked it.
But yeah. Anyway, so back to the question. I do think the boost from the slump is probably starting to end.
And plus, there's less consoles to sell. There's 111 million Switches that have been sold. At some point, you're going to slow down.
Right.
I mean, it's still not miraculous, but holy shit, 111 million Switches.
Yeah, and I think Sony would probably see a bump in their sales if they could actually meet the demand. I mean, PlayStation 5s are still
selling out quickly.
They're still unobtainable. Yeah.
Wow. So. What about the Xboxes? Do people care about Xboxes?
I think you can get an Xbox now if you want to get an Xbox.
Their revenues sank 7%. Microsoft. That's not bad. 7%. They're going to keep going up every year.
No, I was going to say that it was a 6% loss, I think.
Console sales declined 11%. Then revenue from gaming content and services dipped 6%. The thing about Nintendo is that being that a lot of the software, especially the first party stuff, is actually exclusive, unlike these other consoles, where a lot of stuff share between maybe even Steam or PC, they are a little bit more protected. Like when Breath of the Wild 2 comes out, they're going to do gangbusters. I mean, yeah, everyone's going to buy it. They're going to sell like 20 million of those at least. 30 million of those are going to sell. So I mean, they're going to be back hitting it out of the park again. That's why Nintendo should go third party. Activision Blizzard had a 70% plunge in net profits and 29% drop in revenues.
Well, I know people don't think like. I think that can also be attributed to the fact that they're a company that's been constantly in the news for issues. And I do think there are people who have made an active choice that, not to support them. I think it's more than just the pandemic stuff when it comes to them, because it doesn't line up with any of the numbers that Nintendo or Microsoft or Sony are talking about either. That is a huge fall off. And I do think the problems and the public's perception of them have probably damaged.
Yeah, it's part of
it. I'm not saying it's all of it, but I do think it played into it. Yes.
That's also before Diablo Immortal came out. So like those numbers aren't in there. So maybe that's going to help. And that finally just came out in China, I think, a couple of weeks ago, because they remember they were going to not come out of it. That finally came out there. It's going to do great there. Well, I'm glad they asked good old Michael Pachter, managing director at Wedbush Securities, his opinion on the matter here. He said that disappointing numbers were largely driven by comparisons with outsized performance a year ago. All right, you got me there, Michael. In other words, companies couldn't match the wildly high numbers they posted in 2021. Everyone saw record numbers during shelter in place, with catalog sales of older titles leading the way. That set up an impossible comparison, and the year-over-year declines were well telegraphed and were expected. All right, Michael, you got that one right for a change. Electronic Arts was one of the rare companies that defied the gaming contraction, posting a 50% rise in profits.
Okay, interesting.
And revenue growth of 14%. A lot more loot boxes and ultimate card packs because of the pandemic. You have to collect this shit. So then it goes into about the shortages and the semiconductors and things of that nature. Switches isn't slowing down. We didn't bring this up before. It took the entirety of the 8-year cycle of the Switch, of the Wii sales to hit their 101 million. They've hit this in far less years, 111 with the Switch.
Oh yeah.
So this might go to 120. It might go to 130. Like There's potential still.
It could beat the PS2.
I may be tough. I'll just say,
but
I'll say it
could.
won't. But like it's.
I don't think it will. But I mean, it's the first thing that's had a real shot at it.
Yeah. Who would have thunk that, right? Who would have thunk that?